This is a video on how to cast a sledgehammer made with cement using a mold. The hammer on the left is a real hammer that I make the mold from. The hammer on the right is the first hammer that I casted from the mold. This all started because I had some rubber left over after making a mold, so I looked around the shop for a small item that I could mold, and I saw the sledgehammer. Voila, I had a plan. I've made a ton of these hammers just as gifts for family and friends. I will now go through the process I used to accomplish this project. Okay, the first thing I did was I released the sledgehammer with mold release so that it wouldn't stick, and I hung it from the bench on a screw with a wire, and I elevated that to where it was just off the bottom by 1 inch. I've taped the plywood inside with packing tape so that the rubber would release, because if you put it right on the wood, you'd never get it off. So I've made a box, and I've got the face of the box where, you know, I can put it on and you won't see the sledgehammer, and it'll be a full box, and I just pour it full of rubber. That's what I do. So basically right now I'm getting ready to put the face on and then pour it with rubber. All right, it's ready for rubber. Okay, once I had poured it in the box with the tape, poured the rubber in there, I let it dry, and the next day I basically just started cutting and bending this back, pulling it back as I cut it, and literally just sliced it all the way down, and then got the hammer out. And if you look at the profile of this, you can see the choppy kind of a cut there, but they fit together perfectly, you know. So that's basically what I did, is I just cut the piece completely out, and then once it was out or cut, then I pulled my hammer and started casting. That's what I did. Simple as that. Okay, now starting with the casting, I'm basically going to clamp this mold down to the table so I can spread it apart without it messing around or messing me up. And then from there I start to pack a thin coat on the bottom, and then I put some meat in that, you know, to give it a fold up to the top of that half of the hammer. Then I'll do the top half of the hammer, and pretty much from there it'll be all over. Okay, right here I'm putting a piece of pencil rod. It's a piece of metal, and it's going to give that hammer some reinforcement, so it won't break or snap in half. That's now being covered up with a little bit of mud, and shortly here I believe I would be, I'm unclamping it from the bench and now gonna smush it together, and it's about done. Okay, it's still a little bit up in the air right there, you can see, but I've squished out some. There's nothing coming out of there, but right here I need to squish it a little bit more, and then it'll still have a little slag on it when we pull it out, but that's casted. Obviously, you got to cut that out, the grind, the slag. I mean, it's just paper thin. That's all it is. It's just, I usually just take the grinder, that's a sander actually, and just sand that off. And then there's a couple of pits here where you don't get exactly perfect casting. You can see that little blemish there, and I'll just put a little paste in there, finish it up, and then lightly sand it. But that's a very lightweight hammer. And the mold obviously has got some slag in it. We can clean that off and get that stuff out of there sometimes. But you just clean that up and it'll be ready for use again. So now I just need to take a little bit of cement paste, and I'll take a little sanding paper and I'll just sand that lightly just to get rid of the marks on there, and then I'll paste it just to get rid of these these little pits can be taken out with cream, and once I do that, then I sand it. It's all done. Nice little hammer, lightweight, but yet it still packs a punch. I mean, you can use this for a light what we call a light blow hammer, you know, where you're not needing a weight of a sledgehammer. That's a nice little casting. Okay, I thought I would weigh the two hammers to see what they were. So the metal sledge is 4 pounds, 15 ounces, almost 5 pounds. That's what this one weighs on. And then the cement hammer, 2 pounds, 2 ounces, 2.3 ounces. So it's about 3 pounds less, almost. 2 hammers sitting there. It's a lot less, but it's still strong. Okay, just starting to paint this now. I already have patched it with the pung holes and put the cream in there and then sanded it down. Now I'm using an enamel paint. I don't even use a primer on this. I've had this on my bench for years and it's not gone anywhere, but just painting it with a black enamel just to give it a black handle look. And then from there, we're gonna basically do the silver as the head would be. Just the enamel silver paint again, and then let that dry, and then I usually seal with 100% sealer, 100% acrylic sealer actually, and she's done to go. So okay, so we got the hammer all done, painted, even put the black where the handle goes through, but that's a complete deal. Now this is what I call a box mold, where you use a lot more rubber than you would for a different type of casting, where we're doing larger castings, which this isn't that large, but it's too large to do a box mold. You'd use a lot of rubber. So in this case, we have what's more likely a thinner application of rubber, which doesn't keep its shape. So it's just thin, you know, to capture the image. It takes a lot less rubber, and then you come by and you make a hard mold over it. Where these, like this particular item here, was a little sculpture that my son made, and we wanted to mold it, so we mounted it to a board and then made a box around it and poured it full of rubber. And this is the rubber that it actually comes out of. And again, we just sliced it just like we had done with the hammer mold, and out pops this. Another one that I did where I used this as a box. If I can get it out, there we go. This is again poured rubber, so this little piece, and this is what the guy, it was a job that I got. The guy says it's a meditation rock. You rub it and you meditate and you feel good about it. But that was just a simple little thing that I put an eye hook, hung it from the shop bench there, just to where it was just above, inside of here, and just to where there was rubber underneath, and then poured the rubber around it, and then took the piece out. So this is more box molds as opposed to a thin rubber with a hard mold over it. So that's kind of, just thought I'd give you that little detail there. But thanks for watching, and if you like my video, please subscribe, like it, and share it, and I appreciate you watching my videos. Thanks. Bye.